Make a wish. Giovanni didn't speak English very well. Giovanni grew up in Italy and he lived in Rome, Italy's capital. He spoke Italian, but Giovanni understood this English phrase very well. Make a wish. Why? Because he worked as a waiter in a cafe by the Trevi Fountain. The Trevi Fountain is one of the most famous sights in Rome. People come from all over the world to see it. Many people believe that if you throw a coin into the fountain and make a wish, the wish will come true. From sunrise to sunset, tourists toss coins into the fountain, and every time they do, each of them would make a wish. Giovanni thought it was silly to throw coins into fountains. Wishes didn't come true because you threw coins. Wishes came true because you worked hard to fulfill them. Sometimes Giovanni finished his shift at the cafe late at night, close to 3 a.m. He often saw Roman children run into the fountain, searching in the water for the coins the tourists had thrown in. But Giovanni could understand why people came to visit the fountain. The Trevi Fountain was beautiful. It was the most beautiful sculpture he had ever seen. The fountain was hundreds of years old and sculpted from rock and marble. Giovanni never tired of looking at it. He especially loved the horse carvings. Even though they were carved from stone, they seemed full of life and ready to charge at any moment. Whenever he served a very loud and rude tourist, Giovanni would imagine the marble horse galloping over him. One night, the cafe was full of loud and impolite tourists. They yelled at Giovanni, upset that he didn't speak English or German. They were unhappy with the food. When Giovanni finished work that night, he was sad. He had worked for 12 hours. Giovanni sat on the steps of the Trevi Fountain and put his head in his hands. Why do I still do this? Giovanni asked himself. He had been a waiter for 5 years. His parents lived around the corner. They were always asking him if he wanted to do something else. His father was an accountant and wanted Giovanni to join his firm. But Giovanni liked meeting so many new people every day. He had always hated the thought of being chained to a desk. No, Giovanni didn't want to be an accountant, but maybe he didn't want to be a waiter either. Just then, Giovanni saw a silver coin near his foot. It was old and the image on it was worn smooth. Almost without thinking, Giovanni picked it up. He had never tossed a coin into the fountain before, but he had never had such a horrible night before. Oh well, it can't really hurt, he thought. He tossed a coin into the water. I wish that I could find a better job than this one. He squeezed his eyes shut and wished as hard as he could. But when he opened his eyes, he felt the same. He looked down at himself. Same waiter's apron and same waiter's shoes. Giovanni sighed. He should have known. The Trevi Fountain didn't have magic powers. Giovanni stood up. It was getting late, and he needed to go home and get some sleep. He had to be at work again the next morning. The following day, Giovanni showed up to work, but the cafe was closed. What was going on? He asked one of the waitresses. Didn't you hear? She responded. The manager has moved to America. Last night he decided he wanted to start a new life. It was terribly sudden, but now he's gone and the owner doesn't know what to do. Giovanni looked over and saw Serena, the owner, looking upset. We have to open in 30 minutes, she cried. What will I do? Giovanni had an idea. Let me be the new manager, he said to Serena. I've worked here for 5 years. I know the cafe. I know the customers. I can do this. Serena thought it over. Okay, she said, but only for a week. At the end of the week, we'll see how you've done. Giovanni worked hard all week, and at the end of the week, Serena hired him as the new manager. Giovanni loved running the cafe. He was thrilled about his new job, and so were his parents. Now Giovanni never laughed at the tourists who threw coins into the Trevi Fountain. Maybe the fountain did make wishes come true.